Hello, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my channel MMA Normie, and this is the MMA Normie Podcast episode 2. So today we are going to discuss about the results from UFC Vegas 39, Dern versus Rodriguez. Wasn't a fun card. It was okay. I think it was one of the very first cards that actually had all the bonuses that were given to women. So congratulations to all the women who earned all the bonuses, fight of the night, performance of the night, everything. So without much further ado, let's start with the card. We are going to start with the main event, Marina Rodriguez versus Mackenzie Dern. It turns out my prediction was wrong. I thought during the last week's podcast I said I think Mackenzie Dern is going to win, but she didn't. Marina Rodriguez, on the other hand, actually ended up having a great performance, and although my prediction came wrong, some of the things I talked about in the last podcast did come true. I noticed that Marina Rodriguez has a better arsenal of strikes, and Mackenzie Dern is obviously an ace jiu-jitsu artist, and her jiu-jitsu it seems like translates very well to MMA, which is great. But like I said, Mackenzie Dern is a sloppy striker. She's not very comfortable on her feet yet. It doesn't mean that she can't be. She is with Jason Perillo, and he has trained some really good fighters. He has trained them to have really great striking arsenal. I'm sure he can do the same for Mackenzie. I think it has been a new relationship between Perillo and Mackenzie as a fighter and coach, probably a year old, maybe less. So there is time. There is some improvements to be made. But as far as this fight goes, I thought Mackenzie Dern did not look very sharp on her feet. She was still winging punches, and during the first round, you can see that she was trying to close the distance without much setup, and she was going for the clinch. Even when she, without any setup, she secured the clinch. She couldn't do much because Marina Rodriguez looked very aware of how things can turn bad should Mackenzie Dern get the takedown, and she tried to shut that thing down as fast as possible, which is a big credit to her. And as far as striking goes, Rodriguez was throwing down the pipe. Her straight punches were landing very well, her kicks were landing well, and Mackenzie Dern, it seemed like, did not have any answer in the first round at least. Second round, I think Jason Perillo gave great advice in the corner. He told Mackenzie Dern to close the gap with double jabs and right hand. She did that. She closed the gap, and actually I want to make a whole breakdown of the second round itself. The grappling in that round is amazing. I loved it, honestly. And second round was obviously the most impressive round from Mackenzie Dern. She failed to take down Marina Rodriguez, but she inverted her position on the ground, went for leg entanglements, used that to sweep Marina Rodriguez and secure side control. From side control, she went to north-south. She came back to side control with a knee on belly, and Marina tried to secure a choke from the bottom, but it looked like there was too much space, and anybody that practices jiu-jitsu should know if there is space, you're not getting the choke. You need to close it down. You need to close the space down. You need to constrict your opponent, and Marina was attempting it. She was on the bottom, but Mackenzie Dern is a jiu-jitsu artist. She does know her defenses, I guess, and off of that failed choke attempt, what Mackenzie Dern ended up doing is she ended up moving to the mount from the knee on belly position. It was a beautiful sequence of grappling. Marina Rodriguez looked like a fish out of water. She looked like she had no answers for Mackenzie Dern's grappling. Dern went to the mount and she was really landing heavy ground and pound. If there were like a minute long left in that round, I think it would have been called a TKO. But Marina survived the ground. She survived that round, and after that it was pretty much a one-way traffic. Mackenzie Dern tried to secure takedowns, but she failed. Marina Rodriguez managed to shut it down every which way possible, and it looked like Mackenzie Dern wasn't at the level that Marina Rodriguez is in terms of striking. And I did not know this, but apparently Mackenzie Dern's takedown percentage is actually very low. I heard someone talking about it in the commentary booth, and I think that's going to hurt Mackenzie Dern. I think she needs to add striking where she can use it to close the distance, and once she does close the distance, I think she needs a bigger variety of wrestling attacks to make sure she gets the fight to where she is most comfortable, which is the ground. And we all saw how advanced her ground game is. Once she can get anyone to the ground, she wins that fight for sure. But if her wrestling gets shut down and if she has to play outside striker, I don't think she can win that fight. At least not with the arsenal she has right now. If she improves her arsenal, I don't know, maybe there is hope. And like I said, her relationship with Jason Perillo as a fighter and coach is not very old. 1 year old maybe just. So there is clearly big room for improvement. Jason Perillo is an experienced striking coach. He can do much good for her. As far as Marina Rodriguez goes, she looked awesome. Her striking looked awesome. And her ground game is not that bad. Her wrestling defense was clearly good. And she was against an ace jiu-jitsu grappler. I mean, it's hard to look good against Mackenzie Dern, no matter who you are. So that's all right if you lost the round terribly. I actually gave the second round a 10-8 for Mackenzie Dern. My scoring was 49-47, but the judges gave it 49-46. They did not give the second round a 10-8. I thought it should have gotten a 10-8, but doesn't matter. Either way, Marina Rodriguez was your deserving winner. Alright, from that we move on to our next fight, a welterweight scrap between Randy Brown and Jared Gooden. And Jared Gooden actually missed weight for this fight. He weighed in at around 174, 175, something like that. Apparently he had never lifted weights in his life. And if you've been watching Jared Gooden in his previous fight, how the hell do you look like that without ever lifting weights in your life? Like, God bless your genetics, I suppose. Either way, apparently they did not know that he would gain so much muscle, and they did not plan correctly, so they missed weight. I hope they rectify this situation going forward. Honestly, how do you look like that without lifting weights? Never mind. So Randy Brown versus Jared Gooden. Clearly Randy Brown is the longer guy, the taller guy. He has the better reach. He has the longer reach. And Jared Gooden, from the beginning, if he wanted to win this fight, all he had to do was to close the distance, get the fight to the ground, or fight on the inside. Maybe fight on the clinch range, something like that. But Randy Brown was slick. He attacked Jared Gooden with outside punches from the beginning. He had the longer reach. He landed really, really great jabs. He was switching stances here and there, but not too much. Jared Gooden was landing some good leg kicks here and there. I thought he did not do enough of it. I thought he could have done a lot more of leg kicks. He should have done a lot more of leg kicks. I don't know why did he not get into it, but either way, he can. I think his coaches did not advise him properly in that regard. He should have gone for more leg kicks. As far as up top goes, he wasn't much successful with his hands. His striking was okay, but it wasn't really anything that gave Randy Brown any trouble. On the other hand, Randy Brown landed great kicks, awesome boxing combinations on Jared Gooden, and he was changing his angles every time he attacks, which is nice. And Jared Gooden didn't know how to deal with that. And the fact that he could not close the distance fast enough, could not get the takedowns whenever necessary, I think it spelled the doom for him, and it clearly took the fight away from him. Jared Gooden needed to do more, needed to go for more grappling. Randy Brown overall had good defense. He had great offense. His boxing combinations were slick. He hurt Jared Gooden with a front kick to the face, but he also ended up breaking his toe in that same move as well. And it's really unbelievable that he broke his toe in the first round itself and still managed to go 3 full rounds, did not show any signs of feeling any pain. He really had a great poker face, clearly. And he managed to attack in a way that was really impressive despite having a broken toe. And he was still moving on his feet. He was light on his feet. He was still cutting angle. He was still landing great jabs. The jab is the story of this fight. He was landing great jabs, and off of that jab, he was landing combinations. He was landing his right hand, and Jared Gooden didn't know what to do with it. So Randy Brown had a really impressive win. Congratulations to him. From that, we move on to 125-pound scrap between Nikolao versus Team Elliott. I hope I'm spelling his name correctly, Nikolao. And I actually disagree with the judges on this one. I gave this fight to Team Elliott. Score was same. I scored it 29-28 as well, but I thought it was 29-28 in favor of Team Elliott. Judges scored this fight in favor of Nikolao, 29-28. I don't really agree with it. I thought Nikolao clearly won the third round because he took Team Elliott down, and he managed to keep him down for over 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I think, and that was good ground control time. He clearly won that round, but I don't think he won either one of the first or second round. I really didn't. I thought Team Elliott looked fluid. Team Elliott was never a hard puncher. He wasn't a hard puncher. We have seen it over and over again, but he is a volume striker. He had good volume. Nikolao was clearly the harder puncher. He was clearly the harder striker, but Team Elliott landed with more variety, and he was faking with his lead leg up. It was weird. He was hopping with his lead leg up, but then when Nikolao tries to come forward, he would stab him with the front kick, and that was good. That was good from Team Elliott. He was landing some punches here and there. Nikolao landed some good punches, good hooks, and it looked like it had an impact, but they were very few and far in between. And I thought Team Elliott had a larger arsenal of strikes. I thought he landed more strikes. Nikolao probably landed a better quality strikes, but he did not land enough, in my opinion. And I thought Team Elliott clearly won this fight, 29-28, 2 rounds to 1. First 2 rounds to Team Elliott, third round to Nikolao. But judges disagreed. They gave this fight to Nikolao, and Team Elliott, it looks like he has not been doing very well recently. He has been losing fights. He has been giving good performances, that's for sure. This fight, I thought he definitely should have won. He did not. Commiserations to Team Elliott and congratulations to Nikolao. He fought well. I thought Team Elliott fought brilliantly, but I guess shit happens in MMA decisions. So from that we move on to a fight that did not require the judges. This is between Maria Agapova versus Sabina Mazu. Now this fight was a total one-way traffic. Maria Agapova was the better striker through and through, and Sabina Mazu, it looked like she was lost almost. When she was stalking Agapova, and you can see from the outside, she was trying to move her head, she was trying to move her feet, and when she gets into range, gets into striking, tries to connect with Agapova, tries to exchange strikes, she looks like she forgets to move her head. On the other hand, Maria Agapova had great head movement and had great combinations. She was landing this unorthodox combination where she throws the jab straight to the body and then comes up top with her left hand, and it cracks Mazu every time. And she also landed a nice lead right hook to left straight. She was faking her right jab, and Agapova was fighting southpaw, so she was jabbing from her right hand. So she was faking that jab and comes up top with a big overhand left, and she cracks Mazu with that as well. She was landing really great variations overall, and she would sometimes land a nice body jab, left straight, and then right hook, which would land on Mazu as well. Mazu, it seemed like she did not have any answers for Agapova, and it was sad because we've seen Mazu in her previous fights. She does land really great strikes, and it looks like Maria Agapova shut all that down in this fight, and she did not have any answers. That is Mazu, and the finish came in the third round when Agapova actually countered Mazu with a nice hook up top. Mazu fell down, and Agapova immediately went for a rear naked choke. She got it, and Mazu tapped quick. It was tight really fast. Mazu tapped. Agapova clearly won that fight, and it was really, really impressive. It was a very impressive performance from Maria Agapova. I did not hear who she called out after the fight, but whoever she fights next, I'm sure it's going to be a very, very interesting fight. She looks like a promising up-and-comer in this division. From this we finally move on to the first fight in the main card, Gutierrez versus Philippe Colarus. This fight was very interesting. Colarus was standing very upright from the beginning. He was trying to lift his lead leg up to check kicks from Gutierrez. I don't know how his name is spelled. I hope I'm not wrong. And you can clearly see Colarus was trying to check Gutierrez's kicks from the beginning. I suppose Gutierrez throws really, really fast arsenal of leg kicks, but Colarus was trying to shut it down. Colarus was trying to close the distance. He was pressuring Gutierrez all the time, but here is the interesting part. Gutierrez has some really nice attacks. He was hand trapping Colarus every time he comes forward, and then cutting an angle off of it from southpaw, then attacking Colarus with a left straight, right hook combination. He was throwing push kicks to the body. He was landing body kicks here and there, and he was throwing some leg kicks, but I thought the leg kicks were mostly blocked or checked. It looked like Colarus was aware of it, but whenever they did land, it looked like it had a big impact. But Colarus, on the other hand, he was almost too honest in his attacks. He wasn't masking his attacks. He wasn't throwing enough feints to confuse Gutierrez. Gutierrez was moving the whole time. He looked like he had really good cardio. He was moving laterally side to side, and Colarus really had a hard time tracking him down. And whenever they got in close, Gutierrez landed Colarus with really cracking hooks and straights, and Colarus did not seem to have good answers for it. He was pressing forward, he was landing some shots here and there, but I thought Gutierrez landed more quality shots in the fight. And in the third round, finally Colarus actually, I am spelling his name wrong the whole time. I'm sorry, YouTube. It's Colarus, not Colarus. So it's Colarus. He finally manages to take Gutierrez down, hold him down for a while in the third round, but Gutierrez gets up and he actually cracks Colarus towards the end of the round, hurts him, lands huge combinations all over the cage. Colarus was covering up. He was trying to fight back, but he was failing. Gutierrez had really, really nice arsenal of attacks, really nice combinations, and you can give the third round to Colarus if you want to give it to him in terms of controlling the ground position. I thought he did not really land significant ground strikes in order to win that round, but Gutierrez managed to actually land good damage towards the end of the round, which is why I gave him that round. I thought it was a clear Gutierrez win, 30-27, but apparently it was a split decision and someone thought Colarus won 2 rounds of that fight. I don't know how, but apparently that's how it is. But the rightful winner won. Gutierrez won that fight. He is exciting, but I think he needs to fix certain things. He was good at dealing with pressure. Like I said, he was moving laterally very well, and he was switching stances. He had nice attacks from southpaw positions, and he had really nice attacks from orthodox position, but he did not manage to dissuade Colarus from really pressuring him. I think he needs to figure that out. He needs to dissuade his opponent more than he is doing right at the moment, and I suppose there is room for improvement. As far as this fight goes, he looked impressive. His combinations were flowing very well. Maybe he should focus on his takedown defense a little bit more. However, Colarus only took him down once. He failed in every other attempt, so I guess there is that. And overall, he needs to figure out how to dissuade his opponents from really pressuring into him the whole time, because his combinations are good. I think he needs to hit a next gear or two in his fights where he can really start dissuading his opponents and pressuring them back instead. I don't know how he does it. I'm not a coach. I'm sure his coach has some plans for it. I hope he does, and I will enjoy watching Gutierrez from now on. He looks promising, he looks interesting, and congratulations to him for this victory. So that's my breakdown for UFC Vegas 39, and clearly this wasn't the big fight that everybody was looking forward to last weekend. The big fight was Fury versus Wilder, and I'm sure everybody enjoyed that fight. I enjoyed that fight. I thought the fight had great momentum swings. I thought Fury looked great, and Wilder actually looked much improved from the second fight, which is really great. Great to see. It made for a great scrap in the end. Both fighters gave it their all. Both fighters showed great hearts, and the third and the fourth round of that fight was just full on drama. once Fury actually knocked down Wilder in the third round, I thought the fight is actually going to go pretty much like the first fight. However, pretty much like the second fight. However, in the third fight, you can see Wilder actually started with really great body jabs. So much so that Tyson Fury's body was, a little bit red when he went back to his corner after the first round. I don't know why Wilder got away from that. With jabs, he can hurt somebody like that in just one single round. This is so impressive. That man has otherworldly power, that's for sure. But he got away from that for some reason. I just don't understand that. But other than that, the third round, once it went into Fury's favor, I thought the fight is going to go pretty much the same as the second fight. And it didn't. In the fourth round, Wilder came back and dropped Fury twice. I mean, name one fight where Wilder dropped a guy twice in a round and the guy got up. Fury has an insane chin. For most of Wilder's career, he needs to hit you once, and once you hit the canvas, you never wake up. Only guy that actually I remember waking up was Fury in the first fight. And in the third fight, Fury had to do it twice in the same round. I don't even know how he survived that. He has some otherworldly chin. So does Wilder. Wilder has some otherworldly toughness too. Fury really put it on him. And he was pressuring into Wilder like he did in the second fight as well. But this time, Wilder looked better than he did in the second fight. He was landing more punches. But after 6th or 7th round, I think Wilder's legs were gone. They were gone. They looked shaky, but Wilder never really went down. He was throwing back, but it just didn't look right. The legs looked like they were gone. Fury was just pressing the attack, and the finish finally came at the 11th round. It was a thrilling fight. It was a great fight. It's one for the ages. It's an all-time great fight, and congratulations to Tyson Fury. He's probably the greatest heavyweight boxer of our generation. We still have to see him against Usyk, see how it goes. Usyk is crafty, man. Usyk is so crafty. But Wilder, commiserations to Wilder, but he showed great heart too. He showed he is a champion as well. And it was a great fight. I enjoyed it through and through. I hope you guys all enjoyed it as well. So now I'm looking forward to next week's card, although I'm not really looking forward too much to it. I'll watch it. I'll give my thoughts on it next week. And I hope you enjoyed last week's boxing card. I hope you enjoyed last week's UFC card. With that being said, this is MMA Normie Podcast Episode 2. If you like my content, please like this video, share this around. Helps me immensely if you do this. Kindly subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon for future notifications. This is me signing off. Thank you.